Sorry, I had an issue with my network apparently. I still don't know if it's stable. Let me see. I'm still so overwhelmed with like the dashboard of this thing. I still don't really
I never bothered playing.
understand everything. Manage. Alright, we're back. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna have to study this platform a bit because I actually would love to have the chat on the screen, but I still don't know how to do that. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna do a new spread. Let me just start because I feel like that was one. Unless, do I keep going with this energy? Alright, let's do that then. So the Hermit and the Tower, that is one of, this speaks of you being pushed out of your comfort zone. And of course you can be pushed out of your comfort zone exactly when it comes to love or like, yeah, crushes are a good playground to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Because you're always at that threshold of like, okay, it's like, am I going to lean into this? Is the other person leaning into it? Or are we both, you know, just going to let it pass us by? So that's why this can be very exciting energy. And that's why you could be like, yeah, in between already having glimpses or seeing what could come out of this. This is also very common. It's also very common when you're tuned in yourself and you have like your spidey senses on and you have psychic abilities that you've tapped into. It's very common then to already see timelines with a person that we would then speak of a potential. Just because you have glimpses or visions with a specific person doesn't always mean that's what you're gonna align with. That's where you can get really caught up and you can get somewhat trapped in what some then would call delusions, or when you then start feeling delusional about a person. It's because you may have had a glimpse but you give that too much weight, and in between of that is always good to just come back into your body and also like register what is truly happening in 3D like in your actual reality. You know, how are they showing up? Just so you don't get too lost in potential. That's just some friendly advice that's coming through. But the energy is definitely one of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, and I keep getting a sense of it being unexpected. So again, this could be like crushing on someone that is not your type, or even having feelings for someone that you never expected to develop feelings for, or again, like already came through, your body giving away, you feeling a type of way about a person that you didn't expect to, or you don't really want to admit to yourself. So that all can feel uncomfortable. You know, like anything you suppress, anything you try hide or push down will show up in different ways that you will not always be consciously aware of. This is when you suddenly make weird moves that looking back you don't really understand, or when you're in the presence of your crush and you're not your normal self, like you talk weird, or you perceive it as being weird or awkward, when actually it's just your system giving away of how you truly feel about the person. So this is what I love reading, this type of energy, because it's so honest and it's also so like innocent in a way, because it's something that's so out of your control. You can't really control this. Even when you're 80 years old or 90 years old, you're still gonna have crushes, and you're gonna have the same like, it will have the same effect on your body as it did when you're 17, 16, 13. That's why this is such a beautiful energy to read, because it's timeless. So yeah, and then of course I got all like the the music is also giving me a lot of insight of what you're moving through, because I have this on shuffle, so I just let the energy also, like, I guess, transfer over, like the energy of the cards. Also, I work with music with the cards, so it is very like, yeah, it just feels like a mix of emotions. I can't even say, oh, it's only feeling uncomfortable or only like wanting to hide away and push it away. It's at the same time feeling the total opposite, and that of course can be confusing. But I'm just gonna keep reading. Let's see, we got 8 viewers on here, so let's just read for the 8 that are on here. And don't be shy, you can chat. You can chat with me, you can chat with each other. So let's see what comes through for you guys. I'm just gonna get sorted here. Alright. I think I'm gonna keep these out or maybe use a new deck. I'm kind of sweating. We are long distance and this is way out of my comfort zone. Hi! Hi everyone. Ah, you're referencing, so that was an energy I picked up on. You're long distance and this is way out of my comfort zone. Alright. Let's see what else comes through. Yeah, your names all look familiar and sound familiar. Especially Isa. I think SVY444. I feel like I may know. I'm playing my thriller game and watching my energy gonna be chaotic. Well, welcome everyone. I'm just gonna, sorry, I just got a little bit distracted. Just gonna do a new spread for the guy like you lot are online. This deck. Okay, 10 of Wands in reverse, 2 of Swords sideways. Ooh, I'm hearing this is a time to lay down your burdens, and this does feel connected with what just came through prior if you were already here for that. Because there is there's this feeling, I mean, when I was tapping in and reading the underlying energy of where this comes from, of like wanting to keep someone at arm's length or feeling uncomfortable, or somewhat like wanting to lean in, but then maybe fear coming up, or yeah, this sense of discomfort. It is, to some degree, it is still taking like unprocessed experiences, kind of like pulling it into the now, which is very common. Like, you may not always be doing this consciously. It's not like, oh, I want to constantly be reliving my past. It just can be some residue of what you are either still processing, or a person brings that layer up so that you know what ultimately needs to be released. And that's why I heard like laying down the burdens. And also you may have to like pinch yourself or train yourself to see the person as like, it's a new experience. It's a new person, even though they might have tendencies of a past person, or they might remind you of someone. This is where you can think of it as like a video game, is what I'm hearing. Like, you may have reached level 8 with a specific person, and then something happened. Either they spazzed out or you spazzed out, and maybe didn't work the way you wanted it to. And then, you know, some time passes, you integrate the lessons, you transmute what needs to be transmuted, and then a new person comes in, and you're not starting from level 0. Like, you made it to level 8, you've learned certain things, It's like, now how far can you push yourself? What feels comfortable? Where do you need more time? What is coming up where you still feel triggered and you still feel like, okay, this just doesn't feel safe? Is somewhat of like, I'm hearing that somewhat of a game you can play right now. If you can look at it as a game, it may be less taxing on your system of like, oh my fucking god, this just feels like overwhelming. And I'm hearing it can help you lean into the person more, because with crushes especially, playful energy is always gonna help you move through what feels overwhelming, is what I just heard. Like if you can go at it a bit more playful and less serious, and the seriousness apparently does come from you knowing what can be at stake when you put your heart on the line and you get hurt. So that's just some residue, and that's also, I guess, what ultimately, makes you a wise person, when you can learn through experiences that have been painful, but you allow yourself to also make new experiences, and it's not all like a repeat pattern. Hi, Brigitte. Okay, let's keep pulling. This is interesting. Yeah, I don't know if you heard this part of the song because I put the volume down a bit, but she was just singing, "We can make it if we try." But the Fool is in reverse, so it is very much just like, that playfulness is not as much online as it may have been, with your first ever crushes, when you're just like naive and you don't even know what you're getting yourself into. It's like there is a lot more guardedness and a lot more like, I guess wanting to protect yourself, which is very understandable, but it would be beneficial to find a way to bring this energy upright, so you can go at it more with like, I am hearing risk taking, like anything where your heart is involved can feel like a massive risk. And again, I keep hearing this must be someone I'm tapping into, someone of yours energy of like, what if I get hurt? What if I get hurt? What if I get hurt? And that is a reality that is just, can't really escape that. But let's see if you can get more messages of how you can what could help you move through that, so that we can I'm gonna ask clearly, how can we get the Fool upright? So one, this is like the underlying, this on a subconscious level, there's a program, or like on autopilot, what is running is like already expecting the worst and already fearing a loss. Thank you, Maxi. I don't know if you hear the music. I kind of put it down. I can put it up again. It's a bit low. Yeah, so that's on a subconscious level that is coming through really strongly. It's this sense of like a reason why not fully being able to go at this in a more playful way is this already projecting yourself in like, I guess we could call it a timeline, or just this fear of loss and this fear of lack. But you do need to know that is ultimately what you kind of feed into. In other words, that's what you could create for yourself, if that is what you're putting all your attention to. So it is beneficial here as well to focus on, what feels good. It's not even about making a situation feel good, like that's as well, I'm hearing sort of a trap when something doesn't feel good and you trick yourself into, everything's fine, this is fine, I feel fine, but actually really leaning into what does feel good and finding a way to amplify that. I don't know if that makes sense, but I got that is a trap for someone. But not only like for someone, this is also common in, I guess this could be exaggerated to have to compare it, but in abusive relationships, that is very common when you talk to someone who's actually not feeling good, not being treated well, that they somehow downplay what is going on, and just project themselves, like just make a somewhat of a fantasy world around the relationship that they're living. So this could be someone lived this already, and that as well is causing a bit of fear of like knowing how you can gaslight yourself, or having already experienced how you can gaslight yourself. But these are just fears, and these are just like also remembering. Good to see you too, or I guess like read you. I'm so happy you lot are here. I really see some of your names look really familiar, so I know you're either on Patreon or on other platforms. So it's lovely having you here. Yeah, again, it's very common. This is so common that when you meet someone new and you're crushing, and like these energies come up, is that on an unconscious level, what is still not processed from prior relationships just tends to come up and get stirred up. But this is all happening for good, you know. This is good that this is happening, because when you can release it or transmute it, it also makes space for the new. And oh my god, I saw like a quote that I actually wanted to repost on my thread. I don't know why I didn't do that, and it was exactly that: is what I lost made space, or makes room for what I need, something like that. I should have reposted it, because this is exactly the energy. But anywhoosie, next time I know. With you is where I belong. It's also romantic, these songs. Alright, let's keep going. We got Judgment and Two of Wands in reverse. Oh, this is such a strong energy of pushing away relationship. Like pushing away, like having an inkling or having an understanding, like this person could potentially be important to me, or they already feel important, I don't know why, and they're just being like, hell no, I do not want to get into anything. I like this is full on, I don't want to get into a relationship, but it's not the full truth. It feels like it's the fear taking over, because I do feel there's a strong like desire or curiosity as to what this like I heard someone, this person already means more to me, and that is what is confusing me. Like not understanding why this person already means something to you, like not being able to put it in a clear frame. I get you, but also I think it's just too intense. It made me stop crushing totally. Making space, I gotta make space for her. Okay, let's see what I can get on that. Well, I'm getting that's exactly this energy. It's like when, I mean, not saying he's not intense, you know, if that's how you perceive it, you know, how like, it's not to invalidate what your experience is, but it is what came through prior to that what you will do, especially if there's a Two of Wands in reverse and you're like overtly like looking for reasons as to not to lean into the connection. So this can then look like nitpicking, finding reasons as to why it can't work out or shouldn't work out. Oh, this person's too far away. Oh, they're too intense. Oh, they're too much of this. Or like just finding reasons that you then don't like. It feels like a push and pull between like heart and mind. It's like your heart may want something, your heart may desire intimacy, or may desire, you know, experiencing love. That's why it is an experience. Every person, every lover is like a different experience. It will never be the same. That's also why we speak of like your first love and your last love, if there's such thing as a last love. It's gonna be total, it's gonna be different experience. It is an experience. So if we can break it down as that, may also make it a bit less scary of like, are you willing and do you wanna experience the person, or are you gonna find reasons as to not have to engage in what is showing up in your reality. I can still feel strong ties to past people as well. Yeah, that's exactly this part of like clearing out what you lost to make space for the new. But I can pull some cards on that and just see what comes through. Three of Cups in reverse, Nine of Wands in reverse, Page of Pentacles in reverse, all reversals, King of Wands in reverse. Wow, there's a lot of processing. Really been missing my playful energy and having crushes. Someone from level 0 kept it away for a while. So funny, I was gonna message saying I didn't make sense because he was too far away, then he said it, yeah. Yeah, so what I got, I was tuning into that part of feeling strong ties to past people. What I got from that is like massive processing. All the cards came out in reverse. So this can be sort of like you're being revisiting, like it's not only, how do I say it, it's like it feels like you have past person pulling because they are processing the experience they had with you, but also you on some level are feeling the pull because you are doing the same. But I actually need a bit more clarification because I feel like this is important. I don't know why. So let me just clean this up. Okay. So here I'm seeing that what I'm seeing is like having ties to people that were very disloyal. Like I guess that as well as somewhat of an individual experience. Like loyalty also has different degrees. One person may think they're being super loyal, but compared to maybe how you perceive loyalty, what loyalty means, there can be a massive gap. So I'm just seeing that, yeah, it's like for how you are built or what your morals and values are, there has been experiences with people who couldn't match you at that level. So that as well, I'm just seeing that is what is being processed, and that is what's coming up now in the whole, like in the field, especially with like new people showing up that are, I guess, stirring shit up on an emotional level. So it's not bad, like it's just coming up to, it's just a part of what you're processing. I mean, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse, so the more you can just validate what you're processing and you can name it, that can really help in these moments of like, oh, I'm feeling fear. Why am I feeling fear? And then you maybe have memories come up, or you have images come up, or you have these past people that are tied to the experience you had come up. But they are in the past for a reason. And that's why, again, I'm hearing like that quote that I should have and could have reposted it if I had trusted my intuition in that moment of like, yeah, what you lost, because of, it can still feel like a loss, you know, like falling out of alignment with people that may have been your friends or may have been, you know, even lovers or full-blown relationships you had with people. It can, even if you know on some level it is for the better because you're just not aligned, it can still, for your being, it can still feel like a loss, or for your heart. When I interact with past people, it just makes me feel empty now. So that is your being telling you, giving you the information that it's that, you know, you must know that there's no you're better off without them, but there can still be it can still take some time for that to really seep into your whole system, where you can acknowledge that, and that you can also acknowledge that you may have mixed feelings, that you can feel resentment for a person, or you can even feel like a sense of betrayal, and at the same time have love for them. Like, that's why being a human is so freaking complex, because you can literally feel a multitude of emotions at the same time. It's not always black and white. It's not always so simple. It's just why as well I've got a great job that can't really be, that's why this job is really interesting because especially relationships, which I feel like takes up a lot of a person's life, it can be really time consuming to have to navigate that. And that's why I do feel, and I feel like I understand why the messages as of recent have really been of one of giving your body like the space to, instead of being so much in your head about things, just tuning into your body. How does your body react when you receive a text message from someone? Like that, those split seconds before your head starts thinking about it gives you more information than anything else about how you truly feel about a person. What if that's all cleared up and the empty space means one's ready to receive new relationships? Let me pull a card on that. Well, I do see it here with the Ace of Pentacles, that's exactly what is happening. It's just why I started talking about this, this residue of like having having experiences with people who had a different understanding of loyalty. It's just tied to the fear. That's why we spoke about that. But it is coming down to, opening up. Like, can you open yourself up to new experiences, even though you may still feel ties to past people, or you may still be experiencing, may still be processing experiences to past people. Like, can you allow yourself, like, can you allow that space to open up is what I'm hearing. But that when you open up space, what could happen is that exactly first, your system, which is infinitely intelligent, will just give you more emotion of what needs to leave for you to be able to fully receive a new experience or a new relationship or a new person. So that can then show up in different ways. It can be, emotions, fears. It can be habits that don't serve you, or that you can't take in a new. It's you're all individuals, so you're all gonna experience this differently, but it is gonna show up. Like, you will get nudges of what needs to leave and what needs to still be cleared away, so you can fully receive what is in front of you. Let me get some more. 28 minutes. Yeah, we can do that more. Oh, this card again. This came through in the first part before I lost internet or started like lagging. But this feels like really encouraging now. The more, like, when I tune into it now a second time, this feels like encouraging in the sense, look, from what you've built, like from what you've experienced, from what you've survived when it's painful and traumatic, to what brought you here, where you're consciously like, I'm getting a sense that whoever I'm reading for here, or even the broader collective, is one that is very much, like tuned into abundance codes, meaning that you may be the type that always finds the silver lining in something, or you will always find a way to transmute a negative experience or negative situation into something positive. So this feels really encouraging, because it's like, basically what this is saying is you have the foundation built. So even if you were to take a leap of faith, or you were to lean into, more playful energy and maybe taking risks like you used to before you may have gotten hurt. Even worst case, you have such a strong foundation built that, you know, it could crack a bit up there, but it wouldn't set you back as much as other experiences may have set you back, or how you perceive they set you back. Because yeah, for some reason I'm getting that you may have been in a relationship prior, or someone here has been in a relationship prior that, like, looking back, you may have done so many things different, or you feel like it was a waste of time, or you wasted your youth or your best years or whatever the fuck. Like, you tell yourself it's not really the truth, because it did help you build exactly this part. Like, you are solid, and everything that gets built on top is just gonna make you, you know, a stronger person. And also, this is somewhat like, you know, unshakable. There's something you can maybe affirm to yourself, or you do anyway, that I kind of feels like the worst is already behind you, specifically for the collective I'm reading for right now. Like, the collective energy, this is one of the worst is behind you, which would tie again in that 10 of Wands that I already got in reverse, of like leaving burdens, like letting bygones be bygones and leaving the burdens, like laying down the burdens, which I know is easier said than done, but that seems to be what you are moving towards, or that's what the process you are in, for that to really be felt. Yeah, that was kind of intense, man, but I think this was good to tap into. This does feel like a massive, yeah, we could call it a shift, or yeah, you getting ready and you preparing for exactly what we've been talking about, receiving blessings in form of a new person, new relationship, or just simply making the space where past ties and past experiences don't take up so much room anymore. You're welcome. Yeah, this has been delightful. I actually really enjoyed this reading. So I'm gonna be back. I'm trying to do this a daily thing, actually. So I'll be back tomorrow. I'm just gonna post it again, so you can join when you want to. And thank you everyone that's been here, and I will see you very soon. Have a beautiful day. Which collectively it is actually so fun. So I'll see you soon.